everyone, and welcome to this episode of Behind the Wrestler. My guest at this time is none other than Tyler Chase. Thank you very much for taking the time out and telling us your story. So first question is you're going to get asked probably multiple times. Who, when and where inspired you to become a professional wrestler?
Who, when and where? Back when I was a young child, I used to go to my friend's place, and he was an avid wrestling fan. He would always watch Raw and SmackDown. I think Raw was on Friday nights back then. I'd go around on a Friday night, he'd chuck Raw on, I'd hate it. I'd run up to his bedroom and hide in the closet because I just did not want any part of that. And then one day, he'd usually come and find me after a couple of minutes because he realised I didn't want to watch wrestling. But one day, he just had enough of me being a little brat, so he just left me. Left me for about half an hour just hiding in a closet, and I thought, well, this is pretty boring. So I went back down to the lounge, decided to sit down, thought I'd give it a go, watch a bit of Raw, and well, the rest is history. From then, the first moment I was hooked. I think the first thing I saw was a segment between Edge and Chris Jericho. Can't particularly remember what happened, but as soon as my mum picked me up from my friends, I'm like, Mum, we've got to go home as fast as we can so I can catch the rest of the show. And yeah, sure enough, got home, chucked on the end of Raw and watched it weekly ever since.
Nice. When did you decide that I want to be a professional wrestler, and how did you go about it and finding a school?
Basically ever since I first started watching it, I was like, yeah, I want to give this a go, this looks like fun. And then it was all just pipe dreams going through intermediate and college. You know, people would be like, well, what do you want to do? I want to be a professional wrestler. Oh, that's dumb. Well, that fake sport. But I always had my heart set on it. Tried to tell myself, nah, I'll get a real job, you know, maybe a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. But no, wrestling is always where my heart was. And I think it came to 2017. I'd finished up school. The only thing I ever studied hard on in school was drama and PE, because they were really the only subjects I knew I'd need for this job. Never tried hard in maths or English or anything like that. So yeah, after I finished school, well, what do I do now? Well, I better find a wrestling school. Of course, I live in Tauranga. There's no wrestling school here, so I had to look it up online, and I found there was actually a few in Auckland. So me and my mum jumped in the car one day, like, we're going to go up to Maniacs United up in Auckland. We drove up there, got up there at the time that training was scheduled. We looked online and no one was there. Like, okay. Did a bit more searching online and realised they were actually at a show in Tauranga. So we had to drive all the way back here to meet them, and I met Stacey outside the show, talked to her, and she said, yep, come up to training next weekend. So I'd do the drive again following weekend, and yeah, joined in my very first training, and yeah, just loved it from there. Knew this is exactly where I wanted to be.
Your first day at training, how did you prepare for it mentally, physically? What was your thoughts and what did you take away from it? And you know, taking your first couple of bumps and doing all the drills and stuff, and it was like, okay, do I really want this, or is it a bit too hard?
Yep, I remember being super psyched the whole drive up. It's a 3-hour drive up to Auckland from here. And then I got there and I saw a couple of the guys and girls standing outside waiting to be led into the training centre. And for the first time in my life, I questioned whether this is if this is what I want to do. I was kind of like, well, this is it. I'm about to start. This is my last chance to really turn around, change my mind. But obviously, I did not change my mind, and I went in and yeah, did everything that Stacey asked of me. Did my first bumps, practiced chain wrestling for the first time, and yeah, it all just went great. Stacey's like, not to toot my own horn, you're a natural. Yeah, I remember doing some flippy move off the apron onto the crash mat. Stacey's like, "Oh, that's so cool, we gotta chuck it online." And yeah, cool. I had my very first video of me doing a wrestling move online, and I thought that was awesome.
And you know, continuing to go back and train and stuff, and then eventually finding out that you're gonna debut and make your debut on shows, and you know, make your professional wrestling debut. How did you prepare leading up to that stage and making the debut and coming backstage, and how did it settle in, and what was the learning curve from all of that you took away?
Yeah, looking back at my very first match, it was against Rugged Vic Craig, an awesome wrestler, he's a great guy. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that I'm looking back now, knowing a lot more about match construction and psychology, that I could have done better, definitely. But for a first match, I think it went alright. Yeah, came back, asked as many of the veterans as I could for feedback. Of course, there was quite a bit. But yeah, how I went into it, I just watched a bucket load of wrestling before I went in. I remember particularly watching, I think it was Velveteen Dream versus Aleister Black from the takeover, the most recent takeover before my debut. And that, I don't know, but Velveteen's character played a large part in my mindset going in for some reason. That was kind of the demeanour I had walking out. And then that kind of set the tone for my character. Going up now, I've kind of evolved it a bit, but that was kind of what it was based on, was Velveteen Dream when I first debuted. Yeah.
And you know, getting a couple of matches underneath your belt and stuff, and you know, fast forwarding, you know, 6 months to a year down the track, and evolving your character and evolving yourself as a professional wrestler. How did you go about, you know, developing your character and evolving yourself and trying to, you know, stay creative where it's really hard to be creative and unique, because everybody's unique and everybody comes up with something that you think of and you see it on TV, or you see it at a, you know, bigger show event of, you know, like a New Japan or Progress or Revolution Pro or, you know, WWE or something. It's like, cool, I think I'm going to do the sequence of styles and moves and stuff, and then you see it on TV, it's like, well, I can't do it now because everyone's just going to be like, you got it from that guy.
Yeah, I did watch a lot more wrestling the more I got into it. The first 6 months to a year, yeah, I definitely did a lot of improving. But yeah, just trying to talk to people that are in the industry, you know, people that have a lot more experience than me. Getting feedback after matches, you know, sometimes you go backstage and guys will just go, "What the hell was that?"
Yeah. Everybody has that.
Yeah, and then other times you come back and people go, "That was awesome." You know, but even if you do get those ones that were like, "That was a great match," you still want to hear what can be worked on, what can be improved, what could I do better? Because obviously I'm not perfect, and I want to know how to get to be the best that I can. So just asking as many people as I can for their opinion and their advice, and just collecting it all together. You know, other people have different viewpoints on different things, so just putting it all together, just thinking it over yourself, and just kind of applying all this advice into your own arsenal and your character, and yeah, just to be the best you that you can be is what I strive for.
And you know, like, what was the up to this point from when you first started? What are the struggles and ups and downs that you had to face to leading up to where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, because I moved from Tauranga to Auckland to pursue this dream, because initially I was driving up every weekend to make Friday and Sunday trainings with Maniacs United, and I lost my license, being the idiotic teenager that I was, and I realised, well, I'd have to stay here in Tauranga for, I think it was 9 months I lost my license for, and not do any trainings, not improve at all, or I can move up there. And so that's what I did. I moved to Auckland, knew barely anybody, had been to like 5 trainings for Maniacs United, so didn't really know the guys and girls that well. But yeah, I moved up. So that was, then I was going to, trainings every week, which was really great. And then I got to it's been about a year now. So January 2019, I questioned it and I thought, is this really what I want to do? Decided it wasn't. And I told Stacey, I want to quit. I want to leave. I'm moving back to Tauranga, moving back with my friends and family. There's no reason for me to stay in Auckland without wrestling. I don't want to wrestle anymore, so I'm going home. And she wouldn't let me. She's like, no, I know you were born to be a wrestler. You need to stay here. I'm like, I'm going to Tauranga either way. It's like, alright, you can go back to Tauranga, but still want you to train. Still want you to be a part of the Main Action United family. So in the end, we found a way to make it work the best that we can. I try to do my part from down here, which can be difficult at times. I can't be at every training. The guys and girls, I know they're busting their ass every weekend and every show, getting better and better. I can't really get better not doing trainings, but when I am up there, I try my best to, make up for all those times that I miss. But yeah, that is kind of a struggle not being there all the time. But yeah, it is what it is.
And you making that choice and that commitment, and no offense to everybody for me saying this, and I mean this in not in any disrespectful way or anything. Stacey does get a lot of crap on her, but she does put the time and effort in for all of her trainees, and she does care, and she does do a lot of, not just as a trainer but also personally outside there. She is very much involved with everyone's lives, and she really does care about her trainees, and she does put in a lot of work where she burns herself out very significant, like very hard out, and then she has to take time away, take a break and stuff, and everybody needs that. But as a trainer for as long as she's been going in New Zealand, she does put that time and effort into to give everybody that experience for all of her trainees, and she does put a lot of time and effort in for Maniacs United. And she doesn't want anybody to be disheartened by it, or she doesn't want people to hate wrestling, but if she can see that there's potential in there, she's gonna go all in.
Yeah, definitely.
So with having a few matches in under your belt now and stuff, and becoming one half of the New Zealand Tag Team Professional Wrestling Champions with Lance Adams, the fabulous one. As you guys formed the tag team Fashion and Passion.
Yep.
What was the lead up to that, and forming that team and getting to work alongside Lance Adams, and then you guys going on to win the tag team championships?
Well, Lance is just a great guy all around. He works his hard. He works very, very hard for the company, definitely. He's just, at times his patience can be pushed. I noticed that by some of the guys, even myself. But he's always there to help get the team further and grow the company as a whole. And everybody in the company has so much respect for him for that. And as us as a team, I think our characters just bond really well together. Our first couple of matches, we'd never teamed together before. We'd never actually faced off before. So we'd never been in a ring together until our first time teaming together. So it kind of started off a bit rocky, if I'm honest. But as we keep competing together, we're learning each other, we're learning with each other, and we're definitely growing as a team. And yeah, with each match I noticed that we're improving. Even in little things we get like more in sync, more better. And again, we're getting advice from veterans to be better in certain aspects and to be a more collaborative team. And I can definitely see myself and Lance Adams just growing and growing and growing throughout the year, and yeah, I think we're going to be great. If I'm honest, we're going to be a good team and one to remember.
And you know, coming up with a tag team name is very hard because there's so many out there, and trying to be unique with it is even more harder because there's so many unique ones out there as well. Trying to figure out putting a tag team name together, and then finding out you guys are competing for the tag team championships, and then finding out you guys are, you know, you won the tag team championships. What was the lead up to trying to find a name, a unique name that fits both of your characters really well, and also you know, you guys winning that night, and how was that moment, and what was the learning stuff you guys took away from it?
I can't take any credit for the name. That was all Lance and his genius mind. He's definitely a lot more creative than me. Yeah, that name was all on Lance. The night that we won the tag team championship was in New Lynn, December last year, I believe, from Just Plain Kirby. We're So Nerdy. Yeah, that was myself and Lance, our first championships in wrestling, in our wrestling careers. And I remember actually we went down into the city, into New Lynn, with our belts. We just won them, and we didn't even stop outside. We just ran straight down the road, and we were just showing them off to everybody, to the security guards at the cafe, at the pub, people driving past. They were just gloating with them. It was just such an awesome feeling to have some gold around our waist and something to show New Zealand that we are a tag team to be reckoned with.
What are some goals that you have set for yourself that you would like to achieve, and what would you like to achieve as a professional wrestler? Do you have aspirations to go to Japan, to go to Europe, to go to America? What do you want to achieve as a professional wrestler, and where would you like to be, and where are you aiming to be?
There was a point when I first started wrestling, for about the first couple of years, where I wanted to go to the UK, I wanted to go to America, Japan, wherever I could. I wanted to be there. Now, like I said, I've moved back to Tauranga. My passion hasn't died, in a sense, but it definitely did simmer down for the past year, and I decided that I just wanted to stay in New Zealand. Maybe Australia, if I could, if the opportunity arose. As of the past couple of months, my passion is slowly starting to come back. I'm starting to watch wrestling again, something that I stopped doing for a while. And I think with that, with my passion slowly coming back, it's definitely going to drive me to maybe pursue something further. Maybe my ambitions to go to the UK will come back, or even Japan, or wherever again, where the opportunity arises. Maybe I'll reach out and try and aim for that.
So what are the current goals that you have set up for yourself that you would like to achieve right here in New Zealand?
I mean, if I'm honest, there's a lot of great guys and girls in the wrestling industry that I haven't had the chance to step in the ring with. And I know a lot of people have set up a list. I haven't done that yet, but maybe I should. Maybe I should set up a list and yeah, just try and step in the ring and essentially learn from as many people in the New Zealand wrestling industry as I can. I think that's definitely something that I'd like to do.
And you know, you guys, you know, you've started doing shows for other promotions as well, and getting the opportunity to do, you know, Hughes Academy, CPW, and go down to Wellington, anywhere and everywhere that you're getting the opportunity to go and work. And what is the learning curves that you take away from that, and finding out that you got the opportunity to work for these places?
Well, again, like I said earlier, everybody's advice is different. So when you go to, say, CPW, for for instance. You know, I can learn from different people who normally wouldn't be up in a huge show or a Maniacs United show. You know, they've been trained different. They've learned a different few things. So again, they can tell me that, and I can again apply that to my craft. Same with going over to a huge show. You can learn from a great guy like Graham Hughes. I've learned a lot from Devon Lockhart. Honestly, one of my personal favourite match was with him. Alfred Valentine, again, he was backstage at a huge show. He gave me a lot of advice. Yeah, it's just a great opportunity to meet different people and get a lot of different advice from them.
You mentioned Devon Lockhart and getting the opportunity to do a storyline with him and getting the opportunity to work with him. You know, having the first match with him leading up to your guys' last match. What was the stuff you took away from it, and finding out that, you know, you're going to be working in this small storyline with him?
It's just his character was so much fun to work with. I mean, even getting the opportunity like that one night where he competed against Vic Craig for the Shield, where I came out in all of Devon's gear pretending to be him, and just I got to embrace his character for a couple of minutes, and that was so much fun. No, I don't believe I competed that night with him, but yeah, just those little things that were a part of the storyline was just awesome. And then the matches themselves were, yeah, they blew me away. They were so much fun.
Who would you like to wrestle as an opponent that you yet haven't wrestled, but you know that you really have to step into the ring with them?
Oh, good question. That is a good question. Maybe a guy like Rough Guts. I'd definitely love to have the opportunity to face him. Michael Richards. Will Cutting. Will Cutting, he actually lives here in Tauranga. I see him all the time. But yeah, we did have a triple threat once, me, him and Sam Black. But I'd love the opportunity to have a one-on-one with him. That'd be good. Yeah, maybe a guy like Alex Savage, James Shaw. I've known the guy for years, and again, haven't faced him yet. Yeah, just love to get in the ring with those guys.
What do you have planned for the next, you know, what is your goal for 2020, and what would you like to achieve as a professional wrestler this year?
I'd just like for me and Lance just to become the best tag team that we can be. Hopefully the best in New Zealand. We recognise as that would be beyond what I believe would be great. Yeah, that's definitely what I'm striving for.
What is next for Tyler Chase?
What is next? Keep watching more wrestling. I'm still trying to get my passion back to where it once was. And then, yeah, I'm just going to keep trying to hone my craft, be the best that I can be. And yeah, just take it from there. See whatever opportunities arrive and do the best that I can do.
Is there anything that you would like to say to the viewers?
If you haven't watched the Maniacs United show, you're missing out. But yeah, we've got a couple of great shows coming up in the next few months, and if you're not there, again, you're missing out.
Thank you very much for taking the time out and giving us an insight of Tyler Chase and sharing your story with us.
No worries.
Thank you everyone for joining us this time, and I'll catch everyone next time on Behind the Wrestler.